Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are. Thank you for watching. As always, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video, and please share it with your friends. We don't do this just for the fun of it. The goal is that we're going to share a message that you can get out and share it with other people. I've got a nice sun glare behind me. It'll go away shortly. So let's start today. And I want to talk about something that's going to become a big deal over the next couple of weeks. And no, it's not the election. It is the fact that Halloween is coming up. And right now there's all this, everybody's trying to figure out right now, are they going to even do Halloween because of trick-or-treating and whatever. And so here's the deal. I don't really care about Halloween. We don't celebrate it. I don't celebrate it. What's funny is I grew up celebrating Halloween, not in a crazy amount, like we didn't do anything too much, but we always had costumes and we go trick-or-treating and get candy. And as I got older, I started looking at it and seeing what the Bible says. The Bible says have nothing to do with witchcraft. It doesn't say, hey church, go out and find a way to celebrate witchcraft, but in a way that pleases me. No, it says have nothing to do with it. Get it out. And there's, even Jesus says it. The verse that I'm referencing comes from the Old Testament, but even in the New Testament, Jesus continually speaks about don't have anything to do with these kinds of things. Get them out of your life. Don't be part of it. And so, we go through all of this and we see these things, and the church is like trying to find ways that it can become friendly with witchcraft. And so we have these weird Halloween parties for the church, and it's still celebrating Halloween. You cannot look at Halloween in any way and try to Christianize it. It is what it is. It's a demonic pagan holiday, and that is what it is. We go through this debate with Christmas, because Christmas is technically on a pagan day, but it has no pagan anything anymore. I mean, you have to even struggle. Excuse me, I got allergies. You have to even struggle to make a connection between the Christmas tree and pagan holidays. A lot of people will go out and put, the Christmas tree is pagan. There's actually really no evidence that the Christmas tree is connected to pagan tradition. There's actually a lot of interesting stuff out there. And realistically, nobody has a clue where the Christmas tree came from. So there's that kind of thing, but then you have Halloween, which is 100% pagan. There's no question about it in anybody's mind that it is a pagan holiday, and Christians should have nothing to do with it. We shouldn't even be thinking about, how can we get away with celebrating a pagan holiday? Now, we run into it in our home. Our kids like costumes, and they're always like, well, wait, we want to have a costume party because we like costumes and whatever, and we've never done anything with it. But they, it's hard because they're like, well, we just want to put a costume on and go get candy. And so we have to explain to them, look, this is a pagan thing and we don't want to be part of it. It's something we don't want to have connected to us. So we don't do Halloween. And excuse me. One of the interesting things though is as I travel and I go international and I'm going around and I'm being in these countries where they have true demonic oppression in these countries, right? We have it here in the States, but our demonic oppression is very different than what we see in other states. Here, it's financial and things like that. Satan gets in there and vanity, things, all those kinds of things that he manipulates us. In other countries, like South Africa, Mexico, India, these are all places I've been to where they have actual demonic presence that they see and that they deal with. There, when I'm in South Africa, and I've been there a couple of times at this time of year, and their question to me every time I go there is, Doug, what is wrong with the Christian church that they celebrate this horrible holiday? And I really don't have an answer for them. I really can't figure it out except for it's compromise. It really is a compromise that we've made where we say it's okay. But they can't figure it out because they know what demons are. They've seen them. They've seen them at work. When you go to church on a Sunday morning, like I've done this, or you go to church over there on a Sunday morning, you'll drive past a field, and in that field there will be a gaggle of witches sitting there in the field doing their witchcraft. And you can tell it's them because they dress in white from head to toe, and they're sitting there doing their witchcraft in the field. I've actually seen this. I've been there for it. I know what it looks like. It's real. People, they have kids. I've held kids in my arms over there that were being sacrificed to river demons, and the church somehow ends up intercepting it, ends up with the kids. But this is the reality for these people in South Africa. Demonic oppression, demonic possession, demonic activity is incredibly real. And in America, we don't see it, so we don't think it exists. It's 100% real. A guy that I stayed with in India told a story that there was a house where multiple people had died, and they basically, the guy had gone through town and he ran out of fuel or something. His car broke down. He had to stay in this little itty-bitty village. And they basically said, well, you can go stay in that house. And when he survived the night, they were so surprised because they believed completely that the demons would have killed him. And when he survived the night and came out the next day, they all worshiped God, because they said, well, if your God can be so strong to keep you alive at night during your time in that house, then he must be real. See, that's the way the most of the world works. And in the European culture, we've studied our way out of it, so Satan has to attack us differently. We're different in that way. And part of it is we don't have to rely on God to do supernatural things in America, which is one of the issues. If you start relying on God for supernatural things, then Satan has to respond in the supernatural. So you can't there's no correlation right now between why Satan would act out in a public manner when he can just act out privately, because that's the way we operate in America. That's the issue that we run into. So it's very interesting. We need to understand that these holidays like Halloween are 100% pagan, and we need to make sure that we as a church are not supporting them. The rest of the world can't figure out why we do, right? They can't get it. They don't understand. And the church in America is compromised, and that's the problem. It's compromised. Well, we'll let this little bit of Satan in, and then we'll call it something else. Look, you know the old saying, you put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig, right? You can put all the makeup you want on the pagan holiday of Halloween. It is still a pagan holiday of Halloween. And, then you get into these other things that come along now. Now, the church has gotten into all these other things. I've been to churches that they do yoga, and they do, all these meditations and things like that. And you really end up on a slippery slope. What are you doing? The worst thing I ever did was I went to a church event that was held every year on Halloween. I went one time because I wanted to see what it was. And so this church has this massive event that they put on, and I went to it. And their argument for it every year was, oh, it's an evangelistic outreach. That's what it really is. And so I went to it. It was a very neat event. I mean, these guys really put a lot of work into it, and they did a very good job at it. But at the end of the day, what I saw was that nobody that wasn't saved was listening to the salvation message. The only ones standing around the salvation message tent were Christians. They had people in demon costumes and Satan costumes walking through their sanctuary and defiling their sanctuary. And I realized at that moment, that was really the breaking point for me, where I realized how dumb we have become as a church, that we would even attempt to embrace the satanic realm so that we could call it a missionary or evangelistic event. We have to be careful, right? The Bible is clear that we need to stay away from these horrible things, and that's what we have to do. So that's the message for today. Church cannot compromise when it comes to Satan. You need to have conviction, and please don't use the thing of, oh, I haven't been convicted, so it's okay. You shouldn't have to be convicted. The Bible is 100% clear. This is just the same as don't cheat on your wife. Okay? And this is not one of those things that should be up for debate in the church. There's just no room for it. Look, Satan's attacking me right now. No, this is just allergies. Look, there is no reason whatsoever for the church to even try to justify this. And as a Christian, you individually do not have the right, and I'm 100% clear. You don't have the right to justify it, because it's a clear cut case. There's other ones that I get where you come up with it. You go, well, blah, 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 blah. This is not one of those. It's 100% clear. So just enjoy life and stay out of it. You're not really going to miss out on anything. If you want to give your kids candy, go buy them a bag of candy. Who cares? Tell them they probably have some hiding in their room anyways. So just give them some candy and tell them to have a good day. You can buy the candy a few days later if they're like, hey, all my friends have candy and I don't. Okay, we'll get you some sweets later. So that's it for today, all right? Please don't compromise. It's not going to be good for you or your family in the long run, and realistically, you have no reason to do it. And again, the Bible is so clear on it that the whole, oh, I haven't been, convicted yet thing, it doesn't even make sense. All right, thank you. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Halloween? What are your reasons for still doing it if you think you're still going to do it? And have a good discussion. All right, be blessed, and we'll see you again.